You can mislead people into thinking that you got a physique that way. You can show your physique shredded, jacked, muscular, not tell anyone about how you actually got it, and convince them to buy your programs. You can get rich doing that, and then you can become a leader just like Jesus.
People follow Jesus. Why are you angry if they're following you?
Coach Greg, in today's video, the man whose morning routine has gone more viral than any man on the planet. None other than Ashton Hall. Did he get his amazing, stupendous physique from his morning routine, or was it from steroids? Did he in fact build all that muscle from rubbing a banana peel on his face? Was it from the Saratoga water, or was it steroids? And so before we get into that, let's talk about the fact that he was kicked out of his apartment. Remember, this guy has over 9 million followers. I once did a video on him 2 years ago. He had 1.6 million followers. And so what he's going to say is, y'all are just haters. There are leaders and there were followers.
What's wrong with this dude? Why do the same thing as me? What is up? Then I realized, bro, like, people follow Jesus. Why? Because he was great. As a Christian man, why are you angry if they're following you?
Well, here's the thing, Ashton. You're not Jesus. In reality, you're not exactly like what people think. And so the first thing is, you're not 5'11" tall. Remember, this guy was a former high school football superstar, played in university. They showed his stats and so on. Perhaps he played a couple games. I believe he got 1.8 yards per carry in his best year, playing a couple games. But remember, he's still playing. And so I don't care if he's the worst athlete on the team, the best athlete on the team. I don't care about any of that. And I do believe at the time, that's right, way back then, he was 100% natural. We'll get into the year he started the steroids, SARMs, peptides, whatever, I don't care. The year he was no longer natural. And so here's the thing, people are gonna call me a hater. I'm not a hater. I simply call people out. As far as being kicked out of his apartment and being homeless, I certainly think he's a multimillionaire. His rent, $17,000 a month, and so perhaps it was a blessing that he got kicked out. And so it's giving Wes Watson. Bro claims he's 6 feet tall. He's actually 5'8". This man, 5'11", and based on my research, he's 5'7". He's not 5'5", but 5'7". But really, does that matter? Still taller than Coach Greg. But people, they don't want the world to know the truth. Everyone wants to appear better than they actually are. And so it really does take an alpha, a sigma, if you will, somebody who has real confidence. The confidence to admit that, well, they're a manlet. Why not say, guys, I'm 5'7", or heavens forbid, 5'5". Would it really matter? And the answer is yes. Yes, it would, and that is why they lied. Next, this guy absolutely lied about his morning routine. There's no way bro gets up at 3:52 in the morning and then sits around for an hour before doing anything of substance and then goes to the gym 2 hours later. You really think he's sitting there, waking up 2 hours before the crack of dawn and just contemplating life, writing in a journal for a couple minutes and dancing around, putting his face in water, Perrier water and so on? Do you really think that's his morning routine? Or is it kind of cool? Fun to see. ASMR, he's doing his thing. He's showing him up at 3:52 in the morning. And so the chances that he actually does this routine are about the same as if he does my routine. I mean, guys, I get up early in the morning and the first thing I do is I chew on my egg, I dip my face in pre-workout, and I go about my day. You all know I'm that famous rapper 5'6", practicing my bebops before going to bed. That's just my typical morning. But one thing I don't do is pretend to be natural. You can, you will. You can and you won't. You're not going to put 26 or dare I say 36 pounds of muscle in a matter of a couple of years when you've already got an amazing physique. Bro's 23, probably finished university, and now no longer subject to drug testing. And so what do you think he would have done? 183 pounds 3 years ago. 35 pounds later, life suddenly changed for me. Who was with me? Now, remember, this was written 2 years ago and said that would be 5 years in the past. But he claims he have gained 35 pounds while getting leaner at the same time, all from the age of 23 on. It's highly sus. Bro's been training since he was a teenager, training weights and so on, and suddenly his physique jumps by leaps and bounds. And how do you think he did that? Was it through power bodybuilding? Was it training like Jeff Nippard? Or was it from dancing around with gimmicky exercises but hardly even lifting weights in the gym? And through his morning routine. And so why not just lie to your audience? Burn up to 500 calories in 20 minutes doing HIIT cardio, these jumping around workouts he's doing. That's over 400 watts. I can't do it. I'm a high-level cyclist. I can't even come close to burning off that many calories. And so if I can't do it, what makes you think that you can, or that he can for that matter? And I've already gone over his full day of eating, and if he's burning up all these calories, he's up at the crack of dawn. Why is it that he's on a starvation diet? He skips breakfast, he doesn't eat in the morning, he likes to have larger meals, a whole massive 800 calories, and he has to stick to a 2,500 calorie diet. 2,500 for a man who's over 200 pounds of muscle, jacked to the gills, doing all this exercise. How does he only need 2,500 calories? I'm eating 4,000 calories, and I do believe I'm just as lean, if perhaps not even leaner than this man. But one thing that I do that he doesn't do is I actually tell you what I'm taking. Do you think he actually cares of saying what he actually does? He just spits nonsense. Whatever you want to hear, that's what he's going to tell you. In comparison, I tell you whatever you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And so you want to hear there's a secret. A morning routine, skipping breakfast, that if you eat a lot of protein, that you too can do it. 36 pounds in a matter of years. That plank workout, jumping around, knees up, toe touches and so on. That is not how he built this physique. And yeah, it's cool seeing him sprint around doing the thing with the arms flapping down and the pecs flexing and so on. But that ain't how he built his body. I must stress to you guys how promised results will be from having a structured program designed for you. It's a game changer, and honestly, how I've managed to build my physique the way I have over the years. Yeah, it's not from the steroids or that morning routine. It's from the structured workouts, flailing around in the gym, dancing, sprinting, and so on. Yeah, okay, sure. It only takes 90 days for a full transformation. Click the link in my bio. And so what he's managed to do is bamboozle you.
You've been bamboozled!
He's making millions of dollars. He's so famous at this point that he coaches coaches. Now, in the past, he would have seen a video like this and perhaps blocked or deleted that person because, hey, they're talking negatively about me. But now he realizes if people are talking about you, it means you're somebody. And so just like the Liver King, who everyone talked about him, well, he was a leader, right? Similar to Jesus. Okay. And so what I do want to take away is the positive message from this man. Stop giving a shit about what other people think about you. Look how it's worked for him. Do you think that he cares? He doesn't care so much that he's willing to lie about how he got his physique. He just goes about his day, works harder than last time, and is a multimillionaire. And so what many people say is you never see a hater doing better than you. That's debatable. But am I actually hating on him, or am I just reporting the news? And so what this shows to me is that people are that gullible. If they see an impressive physique, they don't ask any questions. Because this man has so much muscle and is so lean, people are thinking, oh, I want to do what he's doing. He's doing steroids. I'm sorry. Does anyone think that he's not? Do you think that it's just SARMs, peptides? He found the perfect routine that started working for him at 23. The years of hard training that he did to be an amazing high school, as well as even making a university football team, that did nothing until he turned 23. And at that year, dancing around, doing burpees and so on, 20 minutes of HIIT cardio, sprint around, that got this amazing physique. It's not. And dipping your face in cold Saratoga water and journaling when you first wake up before the crack of dawn is not going to help you. Guys, getting up that early in the morning, doing a few push-ups, not even getting enough sleep, it's not going to be beneficial. And so although it may not help you to gain 35 pounds of muscle in a matter of a couple of years, you certainly can benefit from Turk Builder Max as well as GO2 Max. Improved energy, train harder than last time, build more muscle, greater recovery. This is the supplement that you need. Struggling to stick to your diet program, you can of course get GLP Max, reduce the hunger cravings, reduce the hunger, and lower levels of test, G test, get it faster than last time. Code Greg, 15% off.
I'm not super particular on how much calories I have in each meal, but I do have a rough estimate of everything that I do. So my goal is, if you know me, I'm always cutting year round.
He's not. It's called main gain. See, the difference between always cutting and main gain is that main gain, you do it forever. If you cut forever, you won't be with us. It's not possible. You can't cut all the time.
Starting off with my morning routine, I don't eat anything at all. I go as long as I can without any food.
He's not going to talk about the steroids. Not going to talk about any of that. Nor is he going to talk about what he actually does for training. But what he does do is he skips breakfast. I mean, how hungry is he at 3:52 in the morning?
Usually I'll wake up, I'll head straight to the gym.
And so he says he first gets up in the morning and goes straight to the gym. But in his morning routine, he spent 2 hours at home before going to the gym. And so which is it?
If I'm in a cutting stage and I really want to lose a lot, I'll cut out the Rice Krispie treat and go like a banana, or just try to do it like completely fasted.
Don't do this. It's not needed. It's not beneficial. You're actually going to be much better to have some protein first thing in the morning. That's your first opportunity for muscle protein synthesis to occur. You do need protein to build muscle. It's the building blocks of how you actually build those biceps. And so, well, perhaps if you're on steroids, you can get away with it and be anabolic and be cutting all the time. But for the rest of the world, you can't just starve yourself all the time, skip breakfast, and expect to have a physique like this.
I keep my calorie count around 2,000 to 2,500 calories per day. So if I'm starting off the day with 800 calories, bro, I'm gonna get to like at least 3,500, 4,000 calories, no problem.
And so he can only eat 2,000 to 2,800 calories. But remember, he's not actually 5'11", he's not actually 218 pounds. And so at 5'7", a bit smaller, and the fact that he's not actually burning 500 calories in 20 minutes doing that HIIT cardio workout, well, he doesn't actually need that many calories.
I'm an eater. I can eat all day.
The reason he's an eater is because he's trying to maintain single-digit body fat year-round. He's always starving himself, and so he can always eat. If he allowed himself to eat more and go up to perhaps a more healthy body fat percentage, perhaps 12%, maybe even 15%, he wouldn't be as hungry and he wouldn't actually be an eater. Think of it. Of course you're an eater. You're starving yourself, 2,000 to 2,500 calories. An athlete like this, if I ate 2,500 calories a day, I also would be starving all the freaking time. It would be a nightmare.
Fast in the morning, go as long as you can without food, and then start eating as the day goes on, and you'll feel more motivated to get it done.
Or instead of starving yourself as long as you can as he's doing, eat from my cookbook. Low-calorie, delicious recipes. He says, I don't want to eat some shit-ass serving, 500 calories. What's the point of that? If you ate 500 calorie servings from my cookbook, Ashton, you'd be full. And so I know you got the money, the dineros. Why not get my cookbook and give it to your chef? I mean, I know you're not prepping your meals, and so why not just say, here's a cookbook, make anything from Coach Greg, and I'm going to eat it. No longer will you have to starve yourself trying to go as long as you can without eating.
More mentally for me, it's like food doesn't control me. Like I don't need food to continue on, if that makes sense.
You know, food, it doesn't control me. I just have to avoid eating it as much as humanly possible, and I can't go into a grocery store because it overwhelms me. All the options, foods, and so on. It sounds to me as if he's suffering from some form of disordered eating. Is that not what you're taking from this?
I'm like a maniac. I'm trying to lose all of that as much as possible.
Does that sound like a normal eating style to you? And so don't copy it.
For me, it's like I have an addictive personality. I can keep doing the same things over and over, and I'll just take in way too much.
An addictive personality. Y'all think he's going to just abstain from using performance-enhancing drugs?
And then later that night, bro, I'm going in, there's no rules. I'm having freaking cookies, I'm having ice cream, everything. I'm just excited about, you know, the week that I had. I feel like I earned that meal.
And so there's the truth of it. He starves himself during the week because he needs a cheat meal on the weekend. Perhaps 3,500 to 4,000 calories. Cookies, cakes, candies, whatever.
I just finished my workout. You can see the pumps. Right after the workout, we'll come right here.
No kidding. He's just finished his workout so you can see he's got a pump. You really think he's going to film without getting a pump? Somebody who cares that much about being that lean year-round that he's always cutting? Guys, do not get a feel for the type of person that he actually is.
This is, you know, what has gotten me to where I'm at today. I'm going to continue to do it.
You know, it's mostly the morning routine, waking up before 4, the Saratoga water, the banana peel, you know, the journaling, doing the push-ups on the balcony in the dark. That pretty much how I got my body. And, well, come to think of it, the 20 minutes of HIIT cardio that burns almost 500 calories, doing some sprints once a week, and flailing around, burpees and so on. That's how I got my amazing physique. Nope, it's the steroids.
This is where it's at. This is where the gains are held, bro.
Yeah, I guess it's this. This is where it's at, the food. All that cardio, the steroids, it's from the food. Now, granted, you do need the food and the protein and so on to build the muscles, but you also need the stimulus for protein synthesis to occur. Actually training, putting a strain on the muscles, training harder than last time, progressive overload, that kind of thing, and the steroids. Without the steroids, your body is so much smaller. It doesn't have the look that it has right now. And if that were the case, probably have less than 9 million followers. He is hustling. He knows what he's doing. He's a keen businessman. Got to give him that. He's very good at what he's doing. But he's on steroids. I refuse to believe that he's natural. I believe that if he was, he would probably show his blood work. He'd say, hey, Coach Greg, he called me out, says I'm not natty. Here's my blood work. Check it out, Coach Greg. And it would shut up everyone. The fact that he's not going to do that because it would show that he's on steroids, I rest my case. Do we really need to dress like this and to do sprints at the gym? Guys, I don't think that this is what you do. A, you're going to bang up your watch at the gym, and B, it could be stolen if you leave it in your locker and so on. So I don't suggest you do this.
So looking at it, bro, we got to go ahead and get in at least 10,000.
It took him 5 hours before he was ready to get his business going. 5 hours. He woke up and 5 hours later, he started to work. 5 hours after I've woken up, I might have recorded 5 freaking videos and had breakfast and lunch. What is he in fact doing? He's wasting his time. 5 hours to get ready for his day. There you have it. You can follow Ashton Hall, believe that he got his amazing physique from all that nonsense, or you can believe probably performance-enhancing drugs. And so if you want to get a physique like that, probably got to use steroids. And even if you use steroids, probably not going to get a physique like that. But what you can learn is if you do something often enough and you work hard enough, you may in fact go viral. You can mislead people into thinking that you got a physique that way. You can show your physique shredded, jacked, muscular, not tell anyone about how you actually got it, and convince them to buy your programs. You can get rich doing that, and then you can become a leader just like Jesus. If you're looking for coaching from Coach Greg, I'm not going to trick you on how you can build your physique. Of course, click the link in the description and apply for coaching today. Don't forget Turk Builder Max, GO2 Max, all the other supplements, code Greg 15% off. Click the link in the description. Now, anyone out there looking to get your blood work done, perhaps you need HRT. I partnered with Transcend, qualified medical doctors going over your blood works, describing exactly what you need. Do you need HRT? Do you need peptides? What exactly do you need? Not just what you want, but what do you need in order to be healthy? Click the link in the description. And until next time, I am out.